Good evening. Today is Sunday, November 9th, 2025. I'm Rich Stevens, and this is the Cold Take. What you're about to hear is news from this week taken only from primary sources like press conferences and court documents. You can find those sources and attribution for every story at thecoldtake.com. Today is the 39th day of the longest federal government shutdown in history. The FAA has announced a 10% reduction in flight volume at 40 airports across the country. Air traffic control staff are missing paychecks, and Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy fears fatigue and burnout. The reduction will take place over the course of several days, winding down 2% at a time. If your flight is canceled, you are entitled to a full refund. For details, visit thecoldtake.com. Unrelated to the shutdown or air traffic control issues, at approximately 5:14 p.m. Tuesday, UPS Flight 2976 from Louisville to Honolulu was involved in a catastrophic crash. Originally a McDonnell Douglas II, the plane was later modified to be an MD-11F handled by the Boeing Corporation. Loaded with approximately 37,000 gallons of fuel, the plane reached 475 feet of altitude, traveling at 210 miles per hour. During takeoff, the left wing was on fire. The left engine detached from the aircraft, causing the plane to lose altitude. Video shows the plane impacting buildings near the airport and causing large fires. Officials say the fire stretched for a half of a mile. As of Saturday, 14 people were confirmed deceased, including the plane's crew of 3. Thursday, a Virginia jury awarded Abby Zwerner $10 million in her lawsuit against the Newport News School Board. On January 6, 2023, Zwerner was shot by a 6-year-old student in her class. Other students had warned staff that the boy had a gun in his backpack. The school ignored warnings and failed to search the boy or his backpack. The student obtained the 9mm firearm from his mother, who possessed it illegally and did not store it securely. She pled guilty to unlawful possession of a firearm and faces up to 25 years in prison. The vice principal, Ebony Parker, was informed of the threat and neglected to act. She was charged with 8 counts of child abuse and disregard for life. Her case is still pending. The details for these cases are all posted at thecoldtake.com. Welcome to Breakfast with the Cold Take. I'm Rich Stevens, and I like bacon. I also enjoy coffee and woodworking. What's your favorite breakfast? Tuesday, Americans went to the polls to decide state and local elections. We made a video about the results that you can watch for more details. Monday, Robert B. Cheney, the 46th Vice President of the United States, died in Virginia. After serving for 4 years as the Secretary of Defense under George H.W. Bush, Cheney was Vice President under George W. Bush from 2001 to 2009. Cheney famously shot Harry Whittington by accident during a quail hunting trip in 2006. He also served as CEO of Halliburton from 1995 to 2000. Dick Cheney was 84 years old. Wednesday, Representative Mike Quigley of Illinois' 5th House District held a press conference about an ICE operation in Chicago. He asserted that ICE officers targeted a daycare and arrested a teacher in front of children in the school. DHS responded, saying that they had attempted a traffic stop on a vehicle registered to Diana Guyanu. Guyanu entered the country illegally in 2023 and was released to the interior and given a work authorization under Biden policies. DHS says that the male driver fled, entered the parking lot of the daycare, and both Guyanu and the driver entered the facility. ICE then arrested both parties in the foyer of the daycare. On Wednesday, President Trump announced another deal to lower drug prices for Americans. This round involves Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk and reduces prices on weight loss drugs through TrumpRx. Ozempic and Wegovy will fall from $1,000 and $1,300 respectively to a standardized $350 on the portal. The migraine treatment, Emgality, will be available at a 60% discount. Popular insulin pens will be available for $35. 85-year-old Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi announced her retirement Thursday. After 20 terms and 37 years in office, she will not seek re-election in 2026. She was the 52nd Speaker of the House and led the Democrats in the House of Representatives for 20 years. Markets slumped this week. The Dow fell 575 points. NASDAQ fell even more, losing 720 points. The S&P lost 112 points, with all three indexes erasing last week's gains. Gold climbed back to $4,009 per ounce, gaining only $13 this week. Welcome back to Cooking with the Cold Take. As you can see, today I have 3 ingredients. What I have is my leftover ice from yesterday's Jameson. I have a mug in my favorite Woodpecker's mug of cold brew coffee that I made myself in my refrigerator. And I have my Middleton Barry Crockett that I was drinking during today's episode. What we're going to do is we're going to make Irish coffee. The way we do that is we're going to take yesterday's ice. This is seasoned ice. Never get rid of seasoned ice. It's excellent. Add your whiskey. Add your coffee. Place the lid. Make sure it's lined up the way you like it lined up. And enjoy. Delicious. Moving to sports, Jacksonville Jaguars kicker Cam Little set an NFL record on Sunday against the Las Vegas Raiders. As time expired in the first half, he hit a 68-yard field goal, breaking the NFL record by 2 yards. The Jaguars went on to win that game 30-29 in overtime. In Brazil, Lando Norris took pole in Formula One sprint qualifying Friday. He became the first driver to win a Sao Paulo sprint from pole. In qualifying on Saturday, neither Red Bull managed to escape Q1. Norris qualified in first with the rookie Mercedes of Kimi Antonelli joining him on the front row. Leclerc qualified third and Piastri fourth. We will bring you the results of today's race next week. In college football, millions of angry football fans scrambled with free trials and subscription changes for a second week in a row. YouTube TV has lost ESPN, ABC, and all other Disney programming in contract disputes. However, top-ranked Ohio State beat Purdue 34-10. Number 8 Texas Tech beat 7th-ranked BYU 29-7. 5th-ranked Georgia went to Starkville, Mississippi, and walked away with a 41-21 win. Vanderbilt came back from a 10-point halftime deficit to force overtime and beat Auburn 45-38. Indiana beat Penn State 27-24 to remain unbeaten at 10-0. 9th-ranked Oregon held off Iowa for an 18-16 win. And finally, the Florida Gators traveled to Lexington, Kentucky, where they lost 38-7 in a game that saw a combined 4 turnovers in the last 7 plays of the first half. And like it or not, that's what happened. I'm Rich Stevens, and this has been The Cold Take.